When I stand before you today, I want you to hear me not just with your ears, but with your heart. Because what I'm about to share is not just about success, it's about certainty, it's about courage, and it's about the unstoppable power of declaring to yourself and to the world, I'm going to win. Too often people live in doubt. They wait for permission, they wait for perfect timing, they wait for someone else to tell them they are worthy. But let me be clear, winners don't wait. Winners decide. Winners choose to believe in themselves before anyone else does, And that's the difference between living small and living strong. I want you to ask yourself, what would change in your life if you truly believed without hesitation that your victory is already written? How would you walk into a room? How would you face challenges? How would you stand up to fear? That belief, that fire, is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. I promise you this. If you give me your full attention today, if you stay with me until the very end, you will walk away with a different perspective. You will not only understand what it means to win, you will feel what it means to claim it right here, right now. Because this speech isn't about me. It's about you. It's about unlocking the voice inside you that whispers I can and turning it into a roar that declares I will. So lean in, listen closely, and open your heart. By the time we're finished, you won't just say the words I'm going to win. You'll believe them with every fiber of your being. That belief is where every victory begins. Before a single step is taken, before a single challenge is overcome, before a single goal is achieved, there must be belief. And not just a passing thought, not just a hopeful wish, but a deep, unshakable conviction that no matter what stands in the way, you are going to win. That belief is the seed from which every dream grows, and without it, even the greatest potential withers. Think about it. Every person who has ever accomplished something extraordinary started with nothing more than an idea and the courage to believe in it. They didn't have all the answers, they didn't have all the resources, and many times they didn't even have support from the people around them. But they had belief, and that belief became their fuel. It carried them through the long nights, the closed doors, the doubters, and the failures. Because when you believe in yourself, truly believe, you turn every no into motivation, every obstacle into a challenge, and every setback into a setup for something greater. Belief doesn't mean you won't have fear. It doesn't mean you won't have moments of doubt. It means you decide that your faith in your future is stronger than your fear of failure. It's easy to believe when things are going well, but the real test comes when everything seems to be working against you. That's when belief matters most. That's when you look in the mirror and say, I am not quitting. I am not backing down. I am not giving up. I'm going to win. And let me tell you something. People can sense belief. They can feel it in the way you speak, in the way you carry yourself, in the way you enter a room. Belief has energy. It draws opportunities to you. It attracts the right people. It commands respect. When you declare your victory before it happens, the world begins to move in alignment with your conviction. That's not just confidence, that's power. But here's the truth, no one can give that belief to you. Not your parents, not your teachers, not your friends. Belief is a choice you make every single day. It's the quiet decision you make when no one is watching, when no one is cheering, when it's just you and your dream. And once you choose it, once you own it, nothing, no rejection, no failure, no obstacle can take it away from you. So before you take the first step, before you begin the journey, you must decide that the outcome is already yours. You must decide that winning is not a possibility, it's a certainty. Because when you believe it with your whole heart, when you declare it with unwavering conviction, you're not just preparing to win, you've already started winning. I'm going to win. Resilience is the bridge between where you are and where you're going. It is the ability to rise every time life knocks you down, to find strength in moments that seem unbearable, and to refuse to let setbacks define you. Because let's be honest, winning is never a straight line. It is messy, it is painful, it is full of rejection and disappointment. But it is also in those exact moments when everything feels impossible that resilience is born. Every winner you admire, every story of triumph you've ever heard has one thing in common: resilience. They didn't avoid failure, they faced it. They didn't escape struggle, they endured it. They didn't crumble under pressure, they grew stronger because of it. That's what resilience does. It takes what was meant to break you and turns it into the very thing that builds you. When you experience a setback, you have a choice. You can let it convince you that you're not capable, or you can decide that it's simply part of the process. Failure is not the opposite of winning, it's just part of winning. Every challenge carries within it a lesson, and every lesson makes you sharper, wiser, and more unstoppable. Resilience is refusing to see defeat as final. It's looking at every setback as feedback. It's standing tall and saying, "This moment does not define me." My response to it does. There will always be people who underestimate you. There will always be moments where the weight feels too heavy, where the obstacles feel too big. But resilience reminds you that strength isn't built in comfort. It's built in challenge. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and so are champions. Every storm you endure, every battle you fight, every tear you shed, it all becomes part of the foundation of your victory. And here's the secret. Resilience is not just about surviving. It's about transforming. It's about taking pain and turning it into purpose. It's about taking loss and turning it into leverage. It's about standing in the fire and walking out of it not burned, but refined. When you refuse to give up, when you push through the hardest moments, you prove to yourself that there is no limit to what you can handle. And once you know that, once you've seen your own strength, nothing can intimidate you again. So, when life tests you, and it will, remember that resilience is your weapon. Don't run from struggle, embrace it. Don't curse the storm, walk through it. Because every time you rise after falling, every time you choose to keep going, you are not just surviving, you are winning. I'm going to win. Discipline is the heartbeat of every champion. It is the quiet commitment you make to yourself long before the spotlight shines, long before the recognition comes, and long before anyone else believes in you. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the early mornings, the late nights, the sacrifices, and the consistency that build the foundation for greatness, because talent might open the door, but discipline is what keeps you in the room. Too often people rely on motivation. They wait until they feel inspired. They wait until the conditions are perfect, and they wait until they're in the mood. But the truth is, motivation comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is steady. It doesn't ask how you feel. It demands action regardless of your feelings. That is what separates dreamers from doers. Winners don't just hope for success. They train for it, they prepare for it, and they structure their lives in a way that demands success. Discipline means saying no when it's easier to say yes. Say yes. It means choosing growth over comfort, purpose over distraction, and vision over excuses. It's not glamorous, it's not always exciting, and it's rarely easy. But every small decision, every consistent action compounds into something unstoppable. And when others wonder how you achieved so much, you'll know it wasn't luck, it wasn't chance, it was discipline. And here's the truth. Discipline gives you freedom. Freedom to create the life you want, freedom to shape your destiny, freedom to stand in front of every challenge with the confidence that you are prepared. Because when you've put in the work day after day, when you've pushed yourself beyond what's comfortable, you know deep down you are ready for whatever comes your way. Winning doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most disciplined. To the ones who show up every single day with focus, with purpose, and with an unshakable commitment to the future they see for themselves. That is the real secret to greatness. I'm going to win. Winning is not a single moment, not a trophy you hold in your hands or a title someone gives you. Winning is a mindset, a way of living, a standard you set for yourself every single day. It's not about waiting for the applause or the recognition. It's about knowing deep within that you are showing up as your best, consistently, with purpose and with passion. That's why true winners never stop at one achievement. Because victory isn't about crossing one finish line. It's about carrying a mindset that makes you unstoppable in every area of life. When you live with the mindset of a winner, you don't allow excuses to control you. You don't let fear dictate your choices. You move forward with clarity, with focus, and with determination. Because you've already decided that giving anything less than your best is not an option. This mindset turns ordinary days into opportunities, ordinary challenges into stepping stones, and ordinary moments into the building blocks of an extraordinary life. So many people chase success as if it's an event, as if it's something they can check off a list. But winners understand that success is not a destination. It's a daily decision. It's how you think, how you act, how you recover, how you lead yourself when no one is watching. The mindset of a winner is not about waiting until you've made it. It's about carrying yourself as if you already have. And here's the beauty of it. When you adopt this mindset, you begin to attract the very things you once thought were out of reach. People notice your confidence. Opportunities follow your consistency, and doors open where walls once stood. That's not chance. That's alignment. That's what happens when your mind refuses to accept anything less than excellence. Victory isn't something you achieve once. It's something you embody. It's a spirit, a standard, a way of being. And when you carry that mindset, no matter what happens, no matter how many times you stumble, you will always rise again. Because winners may experience defeat, but they are never defeated. I'm going to win.